If you were around to experience it, it may be safe to assume that the PlayStation 2 was a massive part of your childhood. It's the most sold console of all time, still outperforming the Nintendo Switch and DS. It was a breeding ground for some of the largest IPs in gaming history, and also existed within what a lot of people refer to as the golden age of gaming. Though that last statement is clearly a matter of opinion, I believe that there is some merit to it beyond the silly dumb baby answer of no. During the PlayStation 2's lifespan, gaming wasn't as homogenized as it is today. Big word. It was a much simpler time because back then, the development cost of AAA titles weren't rivaling that of Hollywood blockbusters, even if they did have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in them. Shoutouts WWF No Mercy. There were no free-to-play live service games, cookie-cutter formulas to follow, and it very much served as a wild west of ideas, being built out by developers who were just kinda throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that something sticks. Because of this, the PlayStation 2's lifespan was packed with so many genre-defining classics that created the foundations of a lot of the games that we see today. It was also full of other games. Titles that didn't really hit the mark because they were too experimental, weird, janky, or in this case, misunderstood. Which is a great word to define Godhand, our topic of today. A game that I feel is a testament to what makes the PlayStation 2 era so special. But to understand how this masterpiece was forgotten and is now somewhat officially unplayable, we must first take a look at a game that changed history. In the year 2005, there was a video game that came out on the Nintendo GameCube that you may have heard of. A little title named
Resident Evil 4.
Starring Leon Scott Kennedy's fine ass, your goal was to run, shoot, and survive your way through a rural village in Spain in order to save the president's daughter. You were also expected to sit there slack-jawed staring at Ada Wong whenever she was on screen, cause damn! It was a big change to the Resident Evil franchise because though it still featured zombies, insane plot twists, and cheesy over-the-top moments, Resident Evil 4 was the first game in the series to adopt this third-person, over-the-shoulder camera which has become a mainstay for the survival horror genre over the last 20 years. Serving as a major inspiration for games like Dead Space, Gears of War, The Last of Us, and believe it or not, The Last of Us Remastered. There wasn't really anything like it at the time, at least not anything that felt this good, which is why Resident Evil 4 scored a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic. And for that 4% of people that didn't like the game, we're looking. We gon' find you. Seeing the massive success and great reception to the game, Resident Evil 4's director Shinji Mikami ended up leaving Capcom Production Studio 4 and joining
Clover.
Clover Studio also employed other Capcom legends, including Hideki Kamiya, the Devil May Cry director, and Atsushi Inaba, the producer of Beautiful Joe, which is something I would like to talk about another day. I have nowhere else in my script to fit this, but Dante was actually a playable character in Beautiful Joe's PlayStation release, and he's just so ugly, it makes me laugh every time. Mikami and Inaba were talking one day and discussed that most action games have turned towards weapons and away from hand-to-hand combat. Mikami said in a much later interview that in 1999 he played Final Fight Revenge, which was a sequel to a franchise that he loved, and he hated it and thought it was shit, vowing to one day make a beat-em-up that was better. One thing led to another, and using their expertise and resources, the concept for Godhand was born. And it was developed by the team that was responsible by Resident Evil 4. A hand-to-hand combat game that was created to play like one of the highest rated games in history, being made by the same team? Well, sign me up. I'm sure that this is gonna be... Oh no. Oh no, what happened? Oh no. Oh no, what? Don't let the reviews fool you. If this game was truly awful, I wouldn't be making a video on it. Okay, that's bullshit. Godhand is a flawed masterpiece, and though it's nowhere close to perfect, it delivers an experience that no other game has been able to reproduce, for better or for worse. As we start to dive into the gameplay and storyline, there's one key aspect that I want all of you to remember. Godhand is very hard. And I mean very hard. Godhand is very hard. The game opens up with our main protagonist, Jean, a brash, outspoken, and somewhat overconfident anime badass, alongside his friend Olivia, a baddie. They enter a rundown Wild West town and immediately are approached by two generic-looking punk rock thugs. And just like that, the game starts, without even explaining how anything works. Normally, that's fine, but Godhand is very hard. So I'm gonna have to take some time here to explain basic mechanics, and we'll build upwards as we go. The movement kind of feels like you're navigating a car. Due to the weird Resident Evil 4 over-the-shoulder control scheme, you use your left analog stick to either move forward, turn left, or turn right. You can also move backwards, but it's so slow and bad that you'll almost never do it. Instead, you'll rely on the right analog stick, which holds the power of all your dodge abilities. Flicking left and right makes you sidestep, flicking up makes Jean do a cool little duck and head weave, and flicking backwards makes you do a back handspring. Unlike most dodge-reliant games or Souls-like titles where your mastery comes from timing one specific dodge roll over and over again, in Godhand, all three of these dodge mechanics will be necessary to survive in this hellish landscape. If someone shoots a projectile or does a dashing forward attack, your weave and your back handspring won't work, and thus you'll have to sidestep it. If someone swings overhead or throws a haymaker, weaving will allow you to dodge and punish them, and a lot of times you're gonna have to use these in quick succession together. Now, if you're wondering how you block in this game, you don't. Moving on. Now that we've covered all the defensive options, let's talk about offense. The offense in this game is my favorite out of any beat-em-up I've ever played because it's entirely customizable. Jean comes with a handful of slots at his disposal. Every single slot can be filled with a martial arts move that you'll learn on your journey. Your square button serves as your main combo, having 4 slots available in the beginning of the game, and they all happen in order. Your triangle and X buttons can do different attacks each, and pressing down on the left stick and any of these buttons will allow you to bind another move. It sounds confusing, but basically in your playthrough you'll either buy or find techniques to add to your arsenal, and it's up to you to put the moves wherever the hell you want to, inventing your own combos or playstyles as you go and evolve. There's a lot of depth to it because the techniques have a bunch of different effects or properties. Some dodge high, some launch enemies. If it's a fast attack with no properties or drawbacks, you'll probably put it in your combo. Some are slower but launch enemies, so you'll want them on another slot to use them when necessary. Some generate meter, which is useful when enemies are stunned, or launch, which can one-shot enemies when facing cliff sides or create space when you're getting jumped. And this move right here, called Guard Break, believe it or not, it breaks guards. So in the first fight of the game, I just smack these dorks until they block, hit them with a couple of guard breaks, and then beat them like they killed my dog. That sounds like it could be a good plotline for a movie. Guard breaks are insanely effective in this game because they can eventually lead to a stun, which lets you do a command grab that deals a ton of damage. I don't know if it's actually called a command grab, but that's what I'm gonna call it. Okay? During these grabs, you have to mash the face buttons, so arthritis gamers, rise up. All of the command grabs are different, so for this body type right here, they get a DDT from hell. And Jean also spanks them because this game is funny. Other characters in this game get much more questionable attacks. Moving on. There are also weapons in this game, but they're single use and intentionally quite bad. Most of them, like this stick, only have a single attack. They deal a ton of damage and are unblockable, but they break in a few hits. You can also throw them, and the sound effect that plays is the most painful thing I've ever heard. There's explosive barrels that you could throw, rocket launchers that fire an explosive and then become melee weapons, which there, and a bunch of other random stuff that you'll find in your run. Now let's talk about the most horrifying mechanic in this entire game. Now, there it is, baby! Random enemies just have demons in them. Surprise boss fights. I'm not kidding. Specters can spawn from the body of someone you beat, and their spawns, for the most part, are completely random, which is another mechanic that is borrowed from Resident Evil 4, where the Ganados will have their plagas burst out of their head when defeated. The difference here, though, is that specters are an actual challenge. They're fast, hit extremely hard, and have randomized spawns so they could appear when you're at your lowest. Is your health bar low? Boss fight time. Are you currently getting jumped? Boss fight time. Did your girlfriend just break up with you? Boss fight. It keeps you on your toes and also turns Godhand into an absolute horror game whenever you're at low health and just trying to make it to the end of the stage. Like, it's so scary. Specters have a lot of health, fast attacks which require specific dodges, and also teleport around like a goddamn jump scare. They play this sinister soundtrack when they spawn, and they make the world go black and other characters get red eyes. Like, this isn't a horror game, man. What are you guys doing? Fortunately though, Gene comes equipped, because he is the Godhand after all, and comes with not one, but 2 resources that can transform this game from a fast-paced street fight to a goddamn anime. And that's the roulette moves and the tension meter. We'll start with the roulette moves. These dots right here carry a charge of the God Wheel, a wheel of specific super moves that you could use on your journey, which are all overpowered for different reasons, and you can learn a lot of them. You can refresh these charges by just finding pickups inside of crates, or enemies drop them sometimes, and there's plenty to go around. Like a lot. Going back to our run and fighting the first Spectre in the game, I opt to use the Ball Buster, which allows me to kick this dork in the balls. How that's a super move? I'll never know, but it is hilarious. Also, fun fact, if you ever do this on a woman, it doesn't work. And there's a specific animation of them laughing at you for trying. I will on this Spectre for as long as I can, then I use La Bomba, which is an AoE knockup that also kind of hurts. The Spectre throws fireballs at me, and did I mention that these guys move like a walking jump? Still, we clutch it out and kill the mini-boss. Holy sh! Which gives us our first technique and unlock of the game. Right hook 1, which deals a little more damage than my straight, so I inject it into my combo. I'm a little passive for the rest of this stage because I'm about as healthy as a cigarette. Fortunately, there's only 2 more mechanics I have to explain, and then you're caught up on the basic stuff. Gene's other resource is the tension meter. This second bar right here that you've been seeing the entire time. Once you have enough tension, you can unleash the Godhand, which for a set amount of time turns you into a god. You attack faster, become invincible, undodgeable, unblockable, and outright can shred people like some mozzarella. You generate tension by landing blows on enemies, and since Unleashed mode is so broken, once you develop a sense for the game's mechanics, you realize that you want to generate as much tension as you can, whenever you can. Remember that Spectre earlier that I was hyping up for being hard? Well, when you're in Unleashed mode, you can just stand there and beat him to death. Oh, I'm gonna have to use this again because these demons are nuts. When you're in this mode, you're invulnerable, but on top of being invulnerable, you can't be blocked, I think. Cool. Now, there's one more mechanic that I have to explain. A mechanic that I didn't really understand until way after I beat the game. You see this level meter over here? Well, this game isn't an RPG. Basically, when you play this game well, you earn points towards your difficulty level. And as your difficulty scales, the game gets way harder. At level 1, enemies will not attack in groups, they barely block, and only attack when they're in view of the camera or being attacked themselves. At level 2, enemies can now counterattack and will start attacking in groups. At level 3, enemies get new moves, more enemies start to spawn, and now they don't care if they're in view of the camera. They will let it rip no matter what. And at the final level, level die, enemies are a lot faster, attack more frequently, gain resistances to launch attacks, and even more enemies spawn. Also, at level die, enemies hit like they themselves are in possession of the god. It's a very cool mechanic because this difficulty actually just scales with you, and when you end up taking damage, your difficulty level ends up dropping as well. So does your fucking health. The rewards for playing perfectly allow you to get more gold, fight more enemies, which allows you to find more drops, and also adds to your gold bonus at the end of each stage. Just don't get hit, or your entire lineage is gonna feel it. Fortunately, the developers knew how hard this actually was, so you could actually spend a charge of the roulette wheel to grovel and lower the difficulty back down.
Onegaishimasu.
And it's so funny. When I was a kid and I beat this game, I never understood this mechanic, so I would just randomly get one shot and be pissed because I didn't know what was happening. Now that you understand just about every mechanic from this game, we could talk about how it folds into itself through the playthrough. As you beat stages and defeat enemies, you accumulate gold you'll need to evolve Jean. In between stages, you're sent to the casino where you can do a bunch of stuff. You can head to the general store to learn new techniques, roulette moves, add slots to your combo, increase your max health, get roulette charges and tension meter. You could participate in dog races where you could bet money on a specific dog and gamble to win a lot more money. You could head into the actual casino itself to play games like slots, blackjack, and video poker. And if you punch one of the people there, we'll talk about that later. And you can head to the fighting ring and participate in challenges that reward you with money if you win. Problem is, a lot of these challenges are hard, making you play with no health or against insane opponents. But they are incredibly fun, and losing doesn't cost you anything, so good luck. Our first major purchase is a move called Elbow Spin, which is a multi-hit move that I put into my combo. We get hit by a cutscene that shows Jean and Olivia watching someone get their arm chopped off outside. Then we get a flashback that shows Jean getting his arm chopped off by a group of bandits, which tugs at his heartstrings, so he heads outside to save the guy who already got his arm chopped off? Aren't you the Godhand, Jean? Little slow to the punch there, buddy. Also, this happens.
Check your back, smartass. Son of a bitch. Damn it, Olivia!
You start the stage with a kick me sign on your back, which is more than a funny joke. Believe it or not, you can actually beat this entire game with that kick me sign on your back. It goes away when you perform a roulette move or use the Godhand's power, but if you beat the entire game with this sign on your back, you're awarded with a jukebox disc, which includes music for all of the side bosses. I've never done it though, but this is one of the many things Godhand does to add bonus content for the sake of it. The second stage is more of the same. I do find this little fairy on the side of this building, which allows us to do a bonus stage, which is another fun way to make money. Also, remember when I said that level 3 gives enemies new moves? Like, that'd be dumb. Wow! This particular bonus stage spawns waves of enemies to fight, and the last guy here has a baseball bat, which is perfect to show you what I meant about the properties of dodging. Here you can see him swinging the bat over and over, which I can weave under, but then he finishes the combo with a downward strike and kills me. It's like getting a body shot in boxing, or like getting hit with a baseball bat in real life. We get another try, and this time I use my roulette moves on him, cause duh, I'm the Godhand. With him defeated, we head back to the main section of this stage and cross this bridge. And I want you to just look at the speed of this attack. Like, it's so fast. A great and somewhat cheesy mechanic that exists in this game is that you can technically die on the same stage again and again, and you won't lose the gold that you earn. It seems like an oversight, but I've learned over time that nothing in this game is an oversight. These people thought about everything. I believe that this was an intentional way to allow players to earn money and scale if they're having too much difficulty with the game. Another great mechanic here is being able to kick people off of cliffs, which is great if you're struggling, but can also keep the enemies from dropping valuables, so it's kind of a win-lose. After finishing the second mission, we're introduced to the main antagonists of the game, the Four Divas.
Stop.
an evil organization of demons who are trying to resurrect the Demon King Angra. This cool-looking gentleman here is named Azel, and he reveals that he discovered the possession of the Godhand because he could feel it. We learn that Azel is actually the Devil Hand, the counterpart to the Godhand.
Call me the Devil Hand.
I don't care what you call yourself.
Then we get introduced to my favorite character in this game, Elvis, a cigar-smoking, comically large, Spanish-speaking demon who sounds like this.
This little huevon is the Godhand. Oh, that's rich.
It's just
Awesome!
We'll learn about the other two demons as the story goes on, but for now, all you gotta know is that Shannon is incredibly horny.
Yeah!
And the leader, Bells, hasn't smiled since the 1800s. Bells sends Elvis to investigate, and thus we're headed towards the first major boss fight of the game. I spend all of my hard-earned money to increase my tension meter so that we can go into Unleashed mode more often, and then we start the next mission, which is more of the same. But I do want to say, the command grab you do on these big guys is a pummel, and this footage isn't sped up. It just looks like that. And I think that's funny. I see a dude sitting at a table, but I'm kind of low health. I have a weapon though, so it should be quick, but then, guess what happens?
On die mode already. God damn it!
I'm gonna have to hit him with the ball buster.
Ooh! Alright, that's it, bro. Oh god! There it is! Holy shit. I almost died there.
Horror game! We continue onward and I die because the enemy dodges me and whiff punishes. They could do that, by the way. Then we play through the stage again and actually make it to a cutscene, where another innocent civilian is being tormented by a group of jerks and a poison chihuahua. A poison chihuahua. In order to save the man, you have to not only beat up the group, but catch this little guy who's running away with the antidote for the poison chihuahua bite. It's a timed event because the civilian is actually dying, but we manage to squeak out a dub and save him in time. He drinks the antidote and gives us a comically large treasure chest, then sprints off in a random direction. I think now would be the perfect time to tell you something that you probably already noticed. This game is meant to be a slapstick comedy, which is why almost everything in it is so over the top. The gift was a brand new roulette move called Dragon Kick, which we'll see later. Then we find another challenge fairy who makes us break a card, an homage to Street Fighter 2. We continue our god run and get to die mode only to have a demon spawn near instantly. And now I can start talking about bonus tech. Higher level stuff for aspiring god hands themselves. The reason why I keep using Ball Buster is because it stuns enemies, which allows me to get bonus damage off or lock them in a command grab, which generates a ton of tension meter. Then, when the command grab is over, I'm able to land a taunt to generate even more meter, which lets me go unleashed. This combo will get way stronger as we evolve. Side note, you can find pickups in this game that just fill up your tension meter, and they're all just pictures of hot girls, which means that the power of the God Hand is directly attributed to how bricked up Jean is. We defeat a demon and finally equip a brand new move. The first being a long straight that I put into my combo because it deals more damage. Then we head to the store and buy sushi, which adds a whole nother slot into our combo, so we add in the move Pimp Hand. Yeah, it was a different time back. We also increase our max life, because why not? Now is the point where the game takes all the way off, and throws something in from so far left field, it's coming from another sport entirely. Fraud check.
Hey, sweetie, you're not going anywhere until you answer our quiz question. He's such a sexy man, just my type.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Question time, sweet cheeks. What's the name of our boss? Elvis. Elvis.
Like I give a shit.
Aww.
This is the first real boss fight in the game. I told you. Masterpiece. Now this boss fight is a complete fraud check, because though this game is already quite hard, this boss fight alone turns the difficulty up to 11. Or 15 if you're in level.
Die!
The boss fight itself doesn't even start until you defeat 3 waves of increasingly difficult enemies. A wave of scrubs, a wave of big boys, and then a wave of buff guys. Then, and only then, can you fight the bosses themselves. I end up dying because, again, it's pretty hard, and I just want to say that when I was a kid, I remember this boss fight taking me like 4 straight hours, and I almost quit playing this game forever because I got so mad. Remember, it was 2006 back then, so I couldn't just go online and find Markiplier playthroughs of this game with detailed overpowered tech or guides on which exact moves to purchase and when. I had to figure this shit out by myself. Now I want to give you a quick rundown of the boss's patterns and moves. Their main attack is to throw it back professionally. They also do a jumping dive kick, have a big bitch slap, and a throw where they pile drive the shit out of you. Oh, and if they come together and dance, they could turn into a wheel of death. After dying a few times, I decide to lock TF in and play better. I start their phase by going unleashed, and by focusing gold, I'm almost able to take them down in a single go. Then I use my ball buster and land another pummel, but I accidentally used a roundhouse kick, which ruined my setup.
Oh, why did I do that? Dear God!
I focus gold down to try to turn this into a 1v1, and by playing a bit of hit and run, I'm finally able to knock him down. Now all we had to do was defeat silver, which is a lot easier.
Enough! This guy's spamming! Hold on, if I hit him with one of these... I have enough! Woo! Okay, he's dead.
Holy, we did it. Fun fact, by the way, if you inspect Silver's body after the fight, it says that he must have lost his balls in the war, which sounds like some funny flavor text. But if you try to use the ball buster on Silver, it doesn't work. Which just goes to show that the people who made this game thought of everything. With this boss defeated, we head to the next stage, which is up a massive staircase. This is the entrance to Elvis's mansion. Now that we covered an entire zone of the game, we're going to start moving a lot faster and focusing on the story beats because we have a long way to go. Elvis's mansion is more of the same. At the entrance, there's an Elvis statue holding a dirty magazine, and if you hit it, the magazine drops, allowing Gene to get a peek and increase his tension meter to 100%. Only tension here is the tension around his belt, if you catch my drift. This is also the first stage where you have to collect specific items in order to progress. In this case, it's 3 crosses to open Elvis's door, which looks like a Devil May Cry stage. We beat the level and find a spinning back fist, which replaces my current guard break. Then we have another boss fight. You know this because Gene immediately states in the cutscene,
Finally, a boss fight.
not only is this a very important fight because it's your first encounter with the Four Divas, but it also gives you quite possibly the most overpowered move in this game. Yes, man, kablam. It's not a catchphrase. That's what it's called. This move deals no damage, it's incredibly slow, and you'll most likely not be able to land it on a moving opponent. So why is it OP, you ask? Because it's a heat-up move. Basically, if you find ways to land this in your fight, it will generate a ton of tension meter, allowing you to cheese a lot of the fights in this game. Now let's talk about Elvis. Elvis is the scariest combination of character archetypes that exists. He is a big, fast character. He has combos you have to weave, butt slams you have to handspring, he could shoot fireballs, and he can also blow out a puff of smoke to obscure your vision. Did I mention that he's fast? Because boy's fast. It may not sound that bad when I describe it, but I literally fail at dodging his butt slam so much in our encounter. Keep in mind that during this run, I haven't played this game in about a decade, so I forgot some of the core mechanics and am, in turn, not at my full potential yet. But I'll get there. I will. I spam my taunt and land my yes man kablams as often as I can, to bring this big boy down. Then we get hit with some more slapstick silliness.
'Cause I'm really gonna give it to you. Hey, you're the big nice hero, right? How about giving me a hand?
There's another cutscene of Elvis heading back to the Four Divas. He claims that he's glad he ran into humans on the way because demons eat humans. Then he reveals to the round table that Gene is pretty strong. Elvis then crawls on the table and tries to make out with Shannon for some reason. Oh, Elvis. 2006 was a different time. Shannon offers to go kill Gene herself in the most horny way possible, but Elvis says he'll actually go and do it this time for real. Thus, Elvis heads off and gets ready for our next encounter. And with that, we beat the first stage of the game. Stages in this game are entire zones that have their own set vibe and aesthetic. And the next zone has some genuinely bad vibes. But first, we have to spend this absolute bag given to us by Elvis. I buy Kung Fu Samba, which is a roulette move that kind of hurts. Then I buy Shogun Sushi, which adds another attack into my combo. I spend the rest of my money on jabs to make my combo better. Then I organize them in a way that seems the most efficient. It's such a unique experience, and I really wish that more games would give the player this much power, because it feels awesome mixing things and seeing what works for you. Even if they're not efficient, going a whole drunken fist build for the sake of it is awesome. We get a cutscene of Gene talking to Olivia where he yells at her for making him be a hero. You hear rumors that people are disappearing in a town, and off Gene goes to find out what's going on. And now we're on to stage 2. This place is an absolute hellscape. Everything is on fire, the moon is a bloody red mass in the sky, there's ballistas that straight up fire at you, and it's basically Oakland, California. Here we're introduced to stronger forms of characters that we fought before, and also our first female opponents. The women in this game are pretty hard. They're fast, they can counter you, they can dodge, and they hurt. A conventional aspect of this game that is shared with most beat-em-ups is the usage of body types, and Godhand is no different. Because of this, for the entire playthrough, you'll be seeing enemies that kind of look the same, except for an outfit change and an extra move or two. For this post-apocalyptic hellscape, they also introduced these Mohawk guys, which can just kind of throw their mohawk. That's badass. Another funny thing about this stage is that the flaming cannonballs launched at you also deal damage to opponents, but like they rarely hit you if ever, so it just kind of feels like you have an assist trophy trying to help you out. Also, you see this new kind of Spectre here? He's named the Green Spectre, who is characterized by his red flame. I know, it's confusing. This Spectre has a blade arm, deals more damage, and can launch himself at you. He's just a new one. So now that's in the mix. We find a move called the Fist of Justice, which is a charge punch that sends opponents flying to another state. I struggle my way through the new rounds of enemies, and just as I use my Unleash mode to kill a strong opponent, I get hit with a, you guessed it, surprise bomb. Fortunately, the Dragon Kick deals a ton of damage because it is a level 2 roulette move, which means that it takes 2 charges to use. This makes the game even deeper because the higher level attacks obviously deal way more damage, but the lower level roulette moves can offer much needed CC or breathing room in certain situations. I am 17 pages into this script right now, and we're still learning about mechanics. There's a bonus side quest on this stage where these guys just tie a man to like a mountain of TNT, and it's just so comically evil, like some straight up Tom and Jerry shit. There are so many of these little bonus missions sprawled throughout the game, and they all have little mechanics of their own. Like for this one, you have to stomp out the wicks while you fight so that the TNT doesn't go off and the guy doesn't die. If you ever fail these though, and the civilian ends up being killed, you just don't get a reward. You can still progress though. Here we run into a new enemy type, Fat Ninjas, who are big-bodied characters with weapons and much scarier. We win this side quest and unlock the Daisy Cutter, which is one of the cooler looking moves in the game. I'll show you it in about 14 seconds. Then we find another fairy bonus mission that proves to be quite difficult. It also introduces the last major body type we see in this game, the Skinnies. In fact, at this point of the game, we've seen every recurring body type available. And with that, I'm gonna start moving a lot faster through the rest of the game, because I think you get the core gameplay loop now. We beat the fairy mission, then go towards the end of the stage where I hit somebody with a daisy cutter, and just look at this. Is that not the coolest fucking thing you've ever seen? The next mission is a mini boss fight against a crane. No, not a bird, a physical crane, where you have to defeat waves of enemies and then break the arms when they get stuck in the ground. Awesome, I guess. We stumble our way through the battle, dragon kick a demon, and head to the end of the stage, where they introduce such an ugly new fleet. Some doors in this game have faces on them, and in order to open them, you have to wail on them while dodging their nose hammers. They're honestly just kind of annoying, and I don't get why they exist. I guess to stop you from trying to just run past everyone. We continue onward, and just as I'm about to die to these two gentlemen, I use my dragon kick, which awesomely enough has a decent sized hitbox, sending both into an early grave. Unlike Jupiter or something, Gene spots a sign featuring a 3-person group that gives him a flashback. Here, it is unveiled that this trio were actually the ones that chopped Gene's arm off in the first place. And with that, the stage ends and we head back into the casino, where I grind out more fighting ring missions to make a bit of money. Another fun thing about this game and the fighting ring is that though you can't go back and play earlier missions in the game, you can actually replay a lot of the boss fights, which is fun, and it's an entirely new setting. I think that's pretty cool. We get a roulette move called the chain yanker, which is just overpowered. It's basically Scorpion's get over here move, complete with stunning the opponent, and if you remember what I talked about earlier, that makes it broken. Moving on, we increase our max HP and head off for another somewhat serious boss fight. Now, there's so many boss fights in this game that we're probably only gonna talk about boss fights from this point on, which is crazy to think about because we're only like 1/4 through the game. When I say shit heats up, we get a cutscene where the 3 Bastardos remember Gene from the time they chopped his arm off. Oh, that's sweet. They remember. And don't worry, if you think the game is going to be mean and throw all 3 of them at you at the same time, it's not that brutal, okay? It's a gauntlet where you fight one of them after the other. Starting with Felix, this rhino guy. He functions as a big-bodied character, save for a few extra moves. He swings his giant, stupid, ugly club hands, distances himself from you, and charges. Using Unleashed mode and a few slick dodges, we get him out of the way and face the next guy. We start this fight with Boomerang Bruce by using the chain yanker. Then I hit him with a yes man kablam to build meter and give him forbidden back shots to deal damage. We don't have enough meter to go Unleashed yet, so we have to fight him normally. I know, boring. Bruce has an annoying sweep kick. He throws his boomerang, which you have to dodge to and fro, and he also has like a generally bad vibe. Like, I wouldn't hang out with this guy in real life or leave my drinks unattended near him. Gives me the creeps. I chain yank him and give him more back shots. Then I notice that I'm at max difficulty, so I grovel. There's no honor among the dead. Most boss fights in this game have crates spread throughout, which are very important sometimes and can straight up save you. So when I get low, I just run around the stage and break boxes. We kill Boomer Bruce, and now we have to fight Conchita. I literally start the fight by hitting her with every crate available, and it's just so slapstick. Then we find a roulette charge and stun her for long enough to use the command grab. Do you want to know what Gene does when you command grab the women in this game?
Normal! This is a normal technique that should be in video games. There's nothing sus about that at all.
Yeah, I know, this game is meant to be a comedy, I get it. But you can't imagine the amount of embarrassment I would feel playing this on my living room TV, only to have my dad walk in and think that I was watching a low-res porno. We actually beat this boss on our first try, which is fucking sick, bro. Then we watch a cutscene of them realizing that he's actually the Godhand. They vow for vengeance, and they run away, and the rhino guy leaves a Looney Tunes-ass outline. The next mission features ladders, which are funny for a couple of reasons. Number 1, Gene doesn't ever climb them. He just jumps up, but he can only jump up where there's ladders, and that's kind of goofy. Then we head into the graveyard and hit another major boss, Elvis Part 2. Elvis yells at his henchmen for not burying the bodies with respect, and then he straight up team rockets them into orbit, starting our face-off. This fight is an empowered and much more dangerous version of our lovable and kind of creepy friend. It starts off as a fight versus two skinnies, which are annoying. Then Elvis comes down to give us hell. I use my tension meter to wail on him, and man does his health bar have some heft. So I hit him with a level 2 move called Wild Pitch, which also barely does any damage. Then I die to his butt slam. I failed a few more times because I'm bad, but then it clicks. Now, let me hit you with some forbidden tech. If you're planning on playing this game on your own, I recommend you skip forward about 30 seconds unless you want to learn one of the strongest combos in the game, which may actually trivialize most of the fights. If you're watching this video essay while you eat and may never give this game a shot, hope your food is good, man. Hope you're enjoying that. Chain Yanker stuns Elvis. If you yes man kablam and then weave to animation cancel the second it lands, you can land another yes man kablam and then chain grab all in a single stun. When Elvis goes flying, you can run up and land one more yes man kablam as he stands up, and you're basically unleashed again. This combo is incredibly overpowered, and you'll see me using it a lot. We finished off Elvis and we get a cutscene of him running away, and with that, the second stage is done. Elvis tells the divas that the Godhand is pretty strong.
I had to help this old man without writing.
Then Shannon says another incredibly horny thing.
Pathetic. I'd have seduced him and drawn out every last drop of sweet red blood.
It should have been me, not him!
And with that, Bells puts Shannon on the job. Jean and Olivia find a poster in their room inviting them to a circus, and this is my favorite stage in the game. Because it's a circus. How can you hate that? I don't know where to add this, by the way, but in the pause menu, as you beat the game, you unlock more and more sexy pictures of Olivia that you could just cycle through. What a wonderful mechanic, eh? I mean, awesome, I guess. Jean ain't the only one building tension. We progress our way through the circus and deal with every new enemy type, which include big women that can throw their hats. Hell yeah! Fat clowns that can bounce like a ball. Hell yeah! And a new Spectre that shoots spikes out of his body and hits you like a Beyblade. Hell no! This mission is more of the same, except for this little maze area here where these boxes of knives spin and you have to not run into them. You can blow them up though, and I'm pretty sure there's people in them, so that's kind of graphic. We beat the mission and continue to upgrade our combo. Then we run into another boss that needs no explanation. Somehow, battling a masked luchador gorilla isn't the weirdest thing in this game. Hell, I don't even think it's the weirdest thing on this stage. He can grab you by the ankles and hit you with a Hulk ult. He tries to body slam you with lucha moves via QTE, and if he lands them, that's free CTE. He can also hit you with a Donkey Kong up B. That was a lot of rhyming on accident. We beat him on our second try and inspect his body, only to find out that there was a zipper on the back. No, spoiler alert, I don't think they ever explained this. We do the next stage, which is just more waves of enemies, but hilariously, when I get to the end, this happens. Then we hit some challenge stages in the arena, fight the Three Stooges again, and with a few challenges done, we buy a fruit smoothie to increase our health. And now it's time for the most annoying boss in the game. Roll the clip! Oh no. These guys are fucking nuts.
Godhand Wild Joker! One hard gangsta diamond! You can find me at the club! Have your pet neutered or spayed! Ow, 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 ow! I'm hurt! I mean hurt! Together we are the Magnetic Pow!
Douchebags.
What the fuck? This is the Mad 5. I don't know if I could say that word. 5 Sentai Rangers that all attack at the same time, shooting laser beams, and they're also incredibly small, making them just a little bit more annoying. But I get incredibly lucky and beat them on my first try. Let me explain it. By going unleashed immediately, I almost kill the Blue Ranger right off the bat. Then, I run away and break boxes in which I find another whole charge of unleashed. They all swarm me and I unleash again for bonus damage and use my dragon kick to hit 2 of them, which basically executes them because this move hurts so much. Then I finish off the Blue Ranger while unleashed and damage the pink one. Once it's only 2 left, I just beat them using another chain yanker and good old-fashioned violence. And with them finished, they roll off. Like literally. Then we have to fight a pirate ship for some reason. I don't really know why. We beat a few more missions, which are nothing to write home about, and finally, we're at Shannon's show. Jean shows up and taunts her, so she makes a dramatic entrance and grabs onto a pole. Jean shrugs. Then, she dances on the pole, which makes it look like she's stripping. So when the camera pans back to Jean, he has spawned a chair, a table, and a beer. It's so stupid. One of Shannon's attacks is to turn you into a puppy so that she can kick the shit out of you. That's kind of evil. Now, I'm gonna be a little honest with you, my dear viewer. She does have other attacks too, which we'll never see because remember that chain yanker combo I talked about? Well, I just spammed it and beat her on my first try. Yeah, it's that broken. We beat Shannon and she escapes by spawning an interdimensional bus, which is similar to me because I was about to bust. She reaches the Four Divas and gets scolded for failing. The Devil Hand suggests doing it himself, but Bells decides to send the mysterious Dr. Ion, a character we haven't seen before. The Devil Hand gets mad and storms off to do it himself anyways. Bells and the Devil Hand are kind of beefing, by the way, because everyone's a demon but the Devil Hand, who is human, and Bells hates humans, so there's like a whole thing going on there. We buy a hand plant kick because it looks cool. Then we get a cutscene of Olivia telling Jean that he has to go stop a mobile fortress. And thus, we reach stage 4. The Kilo Crab, which is a massive fortress you have to destroy. I spam my hand plant kick because it looks cool as hell and also allows me to set up for a launch. And then we head inside the fortress, and this stage has my least favorite enemy trope ever, robots. So I'm just gonna fast forward here and oh, boss fight. We run into the Three Stooges for our second round, which not only gives them new attacks, but also makes them come at you 2 at a time. We somehow clutch it out and beat them on our first try by just spamming the old chain yank banana. And afterwards, they run off again. We continue climbing this awful fortress of robots and the like. Then there's an annoying maze of smashy things I have to progress through, which makes me nervous as hell because I have no health. But I luck out and we make it through. There's a stage here called Electric Deathmatch, which sounds terrifying, because it is. But the reason why it's terrifying is because it introduces the final Spectre form in the game. And they are these horrifying giant monsters with tridents. We stumble our way through the stage, buy a roulette upgrade which costs 30,000 gold, extortion, and now we hit another major boss fight, the Devil Hand himself. And this fight against the Devil Hand is genuinely just so badass, because the Devil Hand fights exactly like Jean. He dodges and weaves, he uses roulette moves that you yourself can learn and use. But once you knock him down to half health, you get a cutscene and the Devil Hand admits that he was just testing out Jean's power. Then he drops the bomb that Olivia is his fiance? And like, no offense, but Olivia is kind of on the lower words per minute in brain, if you catch my drift. To be fair though, the Devil Hand doesn't speak much either, so there's not a lot to process. Maybe they're perfect for each other? We run into Dr. Ion and he's, you guessed it, a boss fight. His entire thing is that he can teleport and transform into a different version of himself, including a rocket arm which fires missiles at you, a drill arm which allows him to dash, and electric hands which give him a big spinny move. He could also fire that one for some reason. We finish Dr. Ion off by shocking him in the ass. and then get another Four Diva cutscene. The Four Divas talk it out, and Bells dumps on the Devil Hand for not using his true strength. Elvis gets jealous that Shannon has developed a crush on Jean, then Elvis begs Bells to have another chance, and states that this time he will fight in his demon form, which is 100 times more powerful. Thus, Bells sends him off, and we head into our next stage. I upgrade my combo with more basic moves and can say that we're now about halfway through the game, but this next half is a lot more serious. Jean confronts Olivia about being the Devil Hand's fiance, and Olivia tells Jean the true story. Olivia's dad was the head of a clan that was protecting both the Godhands. Azel and Olivia were arranged to be married, but then one day Azel snapped out of nowhere and stole one of the hands. The power was too much, and thus the power within made him the human embodiment of evil. Olivia took the other God Hand and ran, as Azel went crazy searching for it, executing all of the other members of the clan in the process. And thus, Olivia gave the God Hand to Jean. And now, Azel and Olivia are the only surviving members of her clan. Olivia starts sobbing, and Jean says,
"If he chose to be a demon, then I must become a god."
And thus we hit the next stage, which is basically Italy. Hooray! The next boss is pretty cool actually. It's a rock duo featuring a guitarist and a drummer. You fight both of them at the same time and they spam projectiles. It's weird because I want to say that these guys aren't that hard, but they beat my ass like a lot. Maybe I'm just playing worse, but I keep getting caught out for some reason. I killed the guitarist and then, like, just look at this.
Where are you? Okay. Okay. Okay, bro. Okay. This guy has trained in every type of kung fu that exists.
But after defeating the drummer, we can finally exhale and... I want to ask for one. Whoa! Shit. What? Is that another f***ing guitarist? Is that a bassist? What's going on here? We defeat him because we are the mother-f***ing Godhand, and when you inspect his body, yeah, no, that was just another guitarist. The next level is just Sisyphus Simulator for some reason, and then a ton of item pickups which can only mean one thing. Boss fight against, you guessed it, Elvis. Jean roasts Elvis for being bald. Then Elvis gets mad at Jean for hurting Shannon and transforms into his true form by saying, "Say hello to beautiful Elvis," a direct reference to Beautiful Joe. He's larger, has a flamethrower, entirely new animations and combos, and he can straight up eat you with his stomach mouth. It's kind of gross. He kicks my teeth in a few times while I get the hang of it, but then after some butt clenching and heavy focusing, we defeat Elvis and get a serious moment. As Elvis lay dying, he begs Jean to listen to his final request, and asks Jean to tell Shannon that he was a brave man. Elvis dies mid-sentence, and Jean burns Elvis's body with his famous cigar. He leaves stating that in another life, him and Elvis could have been great friends. I'ma agree to disagree on that one. The three remaining divas discover that Elvis is dead, and Shannon shows a bit of emotion but then masks it by laughing. Shannon begs to fight Jean next, and thus, our next major boss is decided. We level our combo again and play through the next stage, which is a bunch of underground caves. There's also this new demon guy that spawns, but he's not really a specter, he's just kind of a swordsman that comes out of a door, and he's just a guy? I don't know. It's weird. Afterwards, we run into one of the weirder fights in the game, not because of what it is, but because of what it isn't. This is Tiger Joe. He has his own set of moves, can dodge, and clearly has a ton of work put into his kit, but he isn't hyped up or talked about. In fact, he doesn't even get a visually bigger health bar, he's just kinda there. So we clobber his ass and get on our way? It's just kinda strange. Also, guess who we run into again? The tiny Power Rangers. And just look at how this fight starts.
I've got a killer hand!
I've got a killer hand.
You're gonna get it!
You're gonna get it.
Quit
He's good at this.
it!
Ah, this is dumb.
This time around, they can make a gigantic tornado and are a lot more active, throwing cross-body lariats at you whenever they can. They can also pull out lightsabers. So since we're talking about all the tech in this game, I want to let you in on a secret. There is a move you can get called Mach Punch, which allows Jean to throw like 5 punches in a second. It's really strong against short-bodied characters because multiple punches makes them float in the air instead of dropping straight down, allowing you to actually combo them forever when you are unleashed. It may not sound like a lot, but at this stage of the game, every little advantage matters. We beat these little bastards again. Then we continue through more baddies until we reach yet another boss, a telekinetic lil guy. He's really annoying and flies around everywhere until he gets tired, so you have to nail him when he's on the ground, but he just runs away and summons more people. I don't really devise a strategy for this one, I just kind of beat him up when I can, and it ends up working. Still annoying though. We head towards a massive and very clearly evil building, and surely enough, the entrance is being blocked by Tiger Joe. We defeat him again, and he says, "Be honest, if you didn't have that thing, I would have won, right?" Funny enough, if you beat him without using the Godhand at all, he actually does change his dialogue. There's so many little things in this game, and I'll never be able to cover them all, even if the video is very long. But if you ever get bored, look into it. There's like a lot. We finally reach Shannon, and she's just as horny as ever.
You missed me, didn't you?
Jean tries to tell her Elvis's wish, to which she cuts him off and says she's not interested in knowing. Then Jean vows to send her to hell so that Elvis and her can be together again. I don't even know what to call this form that she's in. It's like a queen riding a dog, or like a centaur if the top half kind of looked like a person riding the bottom half. And not to be anticlimactic here, but now that I have 5 charges of roulette moves, I can use the chain yanker combo a lot, and it really does just trivialize all of the fights. After beating her up, Shannon grovels for her life, and Jean tells her to say hi to Elvis in hell. Jean lets all of Shannon's men slaves into the room where they beat her to death using comically large fans. The 2 remaining divas have a conversation where Bells brings up their mission to revive Angra, the demon king that was originally killed by the Godhands. Azel says that it's a dumb dream and that they should just rule this world together, to which Bells tells Azel to go blow it out his ass. Azel decides to split from the final diva, and with that, the diva organization is dead and gone. Jean goes back to Olivia, and instead of finding her there, he is ambushed by 3 men. And they do a slapstick moment where he punches them out the window, and then he's about to hit the other guy, but he makes him stand in front of the window so that he could also punch him out the window. It's funny. We find out that Olivia's been kidnapped by the last diva and taken back to the lair. We head into the desert and run into Dr. Ion again, and I know what you're thinking. How does Dr. Ion survive without any electrical sources? Well, that's easy. With a comically large battery taped to his back. He now has a claw hand that he could scoop us up with. But beyond that, this fight plays out similarly, with my foot magnetically attracted to his ass. Then we get sucked into a floating pyramid, and if you're wondering what's going on, me too. The game doesn't do a great job of explaining this, but we're headed into an ancient city previously created by the demons. And it's the main lair for the 4 divas and the resurrection of Angra. I know. It's a lot. Basically, we're heading into their main headquarters. This whole stage is kind of strange and functions more like an enemy rush zone, but thankfully, I'm the Godhand. The next mission starts with another weird door opening up, introducing the boss, the Great Sensei, aka the guy who taught that other weird door dude from earlier. He's tanky, he deals a ton of damage, spawns clones of himself, and man, look at that health! He actually beats my ass for a couple of rounds, but the chain giveth and the chain yanketh away. You may have noticed that I'm not really diving into normal stages at this point. That's because they all get way longer, and the game is a beat 'em up. There's only so many ways that I could say that I punched a man's cheeks clean off of his body. We finally reach Bells and ask about Olivia. Bells says that if we best him in combat, he'll tell Jean the location of where Olivia is being held. Bells then transforms into a horrifying bug monstrosity, making him easily the scariest looking diva, and at the very, very bottom of the smash or pass list. He's massive, he's gross, he's fast, and when you get him down to half health, he flies, which is kind of annoying. Also, the command grab you do on him is so funny. It's just Jean making him dizzy and then punching him in the face. After a few chain yankums, we defeat this angry loser. Bells tells us to head to the Tower of Angra because the time should be right for the Demon King's resurrection. We head off on our way and finally reach the last stage of the game. This level is just so insanely hard and has tons of enemies, but the most important thing is this guy's super dick pummel. Because why does he do that? When I say that this stage is difficult, I'm not lying. It's the hardest stage in the game by like a mile. You get chased by a ton of people at the same time. All of them are much harder versions of enemies you've already seen. And is that Tiger Joe? Also, just look at this damage. They're all so tanky, so even my level 2 supers aren't enough to clean up a single enemy. We clutch up real hard and finally get down to the last 3. So we kill Tiger Joe, and just as I let out a sigh of relief, surprise boss fight! After a solid 30 minutes of attempts, we finally beat Tiger Joe and his inner demon, and go to enter the Tower of Angra. But there is a very secret fight that I decide to try out because why not? Now, there's actually lore behind this random dude in a tuxedo. If you go into the actual casino and punch one of the customers, the bodyguard says, "You can't do that," and you start a boss fight. This guy hurts, like a lot. I mean, just look at my health bar. Oh, it's not fluctuating? Am I playing too perfect? Damn. Angra's tower is a straight up boss rush, starting off with the goofy gorilla from earlier who doesn't put up much of a fight. Then you fight a trio of big slicer ninjas who are annoying but nothing special, followed by Afro Fist, a kung fu expert with a baddie on each side. Not just bad in like the hot way, but also quite evil. With Afro Fist defeated, we head to the absolute top of the tower and begin the final fight of the game. Jean finds Olivia captured and under a trance. He tries to save her, but runs into a big green force field. Devil Hand says, "We'll just have to see who she chooses," and Olivia demonically states that the Godhand and the Devil Hand must fight to see who has fate on their side. Devil Hand tells Jean that the only reason he captured Olivia was his bait, so that he can kill Jean and take his Godhand for himself. Olivia was just bait for Angra's resurrection, and now it's time for our final face-off with the Devil Hand himself, who proves to be quite a challenge. Not only is he just as skilled as the last time, but now he's using even more roulette moves. And when you get him down to half health, he unleashes the power of his own evil hand and becomes just as overpowered as we are. It almost feels like a fighting game, the way you two trade between weaving, attacking, dodging, and burning your meter. Hell, even when you do a command grab, he starts matching you blow for blow. It's so cool, and it still holds up to this day. With the Devil Hand defeated, we're hit with yet another massive twist. Turns out the catalyst for Angra's resurrection was within the Devil Hand the whole time, making this the moment that Angra will make his fated return. As the Devil Hand starts to be transformed, he rips off his Demon Hand and throws it to Jean in order to stop Angra from possessing it. Jean grabs the extra God Hand and finally becomes double God Hand Jean. And if you're asking where Jean's real left arm went, stop. Just enjoy the show. And now we get our first look at the Demon King Angra and begin the final boss fight. This fight is so ridiculous. It starts with you acquiring Double Shaolin, a move that can only be used in this fight because you have both empowered God Hands. Angra is massive. He smashes the ground and makes you attack his fist, straight up flicks you to deal damage, spawns sharp lasers from a portal, and most importantly, he can't be chain yanked, which is like half my strategy. Another awesome thing in this fight is that on his second health bar, he has one of those, he spawns specters to kill you. But since you're now the empowered double Godhand version of Jean, you can run through them quite easily. It's just a fun way to show you that you're really powered up. We fight him for like 30 minutes because each attempt alone is like 7 minutes long, but I finally clutch up and look at this combo.
First thing I'm gonna do is this, right? And I'm gonna hit him with one of these, and I'm gonna hit him with one of these, and I'm gonna hit him with some of these. And then I'm gonna taunt him. And I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna hit him with the super double Shaolin attack. And for good measure, I'm gonna run in there. I'm gonna pull out a baseball bat. And I'm gonna send his ass back to hell. Yeah!
And with that combo completed, we vanquish Angra, save Olivia, and see Azel's body disintegrate. And the game ends with Olivia comically chasing Jean with an axe, trying to take the Godhands back. There's so much bonus content in this game for die-hard fans who can't get enough through the main story. There's 51 fights in the arena, all with varying degrees of challenge, with the final one being against double Godhand Jean himself. A challenge that even I haven't completed because that boy hard. The Kick Me Sign run, which requires beating the game without using roulette moves or unleashed mode. The casino slot machine, which you can only use when you save up a ton of money. And of course, a new game plus, where you can now purchase overpowered god moves to put into your normal arsenal. It's definitely something I'm going to look into once I have the time. This game is definitely not perfect, but it's different, it's unique, and possesses a combat system that will probably never be replicated again. Sure, it didn't have anywhere near the same levels of success as Resident Evil 4, but it definitely had a lot of the love and the passion. I would tell you to go play this game legally, but it's kind of impossible at the moment. Weirdly enough, Sony actually released this game on the PlayStation Store for the PS3 in 2011 as part of their PlayStation Classics catalog. But then when the PS4 and PS5 came out, it's just gone and unpurchasable anywhere. Due to the game's absolute flop on release and mixed reviews, copies of this game are selling for ridiculous prices, so playing it officially just seems to be out of the question, which kind of sucks. After this game didn't make the splash that they had hoped, Capcom basically told Clover Studio that they were going to absorb them again and make them work on the IPs that actually were making sales. And with that came the end of Clover Studio, the makers of my favorite beat-em-up of all time. This is such a great game, and I wish that Sony would just re-release it so that I can force all of my friends to experience what an awkward, fast, and often hilarious masterpiece that Godhand was. I love this game, and if you gave it a shot, I'm sure you'd love it too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.